The field of public relations is continually evolving. One of the prominent areas of growth in recent years has been in the development of PR theory. An area where theory development is particularly necessary and practical is crisis management. While all crises are unfortunate, one that involves the death of innocents is especially tragic. Unfortunately, school shootings are on the rise in America, and the field of public relations must be prepared to handle these complicated situations. An application of theory, as well as researching what was and wasn't done in response to prior school shootings, will assist in this preparation. On April 16, 2007, the campus of Virginia Tech was sent into chaos due to the actions of a lone gunman who will be referred to as the shooter. Unfortunately, this chaos was intensified by the university's poor response time and other communication shortcomings. Technology was both a help and a hindrance for Virginia Tech. Although the shooting began shortly after 7 a.m., it wasn't until 2 hours later that this threat was communicated to students. When a message was finally sent, it lacked clarity. After nearly every crisis, criticism will follow, and Virginia Tech was no different. Both campus security and the campus-wide alert system were brought into question. While the response time and communication failings certainly contributed to the crisis, many people looked to the deeper issue of why the shooter, who was known for his erratic behavior, committed this massacre. In general, the university was judged too passive in taking action towards treating mental illness. 3 theories help provide an analysis of the Virginia Tech shooting: Wick's model, image repair theory, and situational crisis communication theory. Carl Wick suggested a process-oriented model stressing human interaction as the central means of organizing. Virginia Tech's response to the crisis was lacking under the Wick model in several ways. The information they provided wasn't dispatched quickly. When communication did occur, it was vague and did not provide a sense of certainty. Since they initially assumed that the shooting was an isolated domestic issue, their response was distorted. The crashing of Virginia Tech's website during the crisis also impeded the flow of information. Image repair theory can be applied to the Virginia Tech shooting as well. Image repair theory, as the name implies, attempts to repair damage done to an organization's image and reputation. The most damage that was done to Virginia Tech's image was not just from how the shooting was handled, but rather from how mental illness among students wasn't handled in the years prior to the crisis. After the shooting, Virginia Tech did take corrective action to better monitor those students with mental issues. Since the crisis, technological improvements made by the university have also helped repair Virginia Tech's image. Virginia Tech now uses a multi-platform alert system that can reach students and staff by phone call, email, text message, website, Twitter, hotline, and loudspeaker. A final theory to apply to the Virginia Tech shooting is situational crisis communication theory. It draws on portions of attribution theory and neo-institutional theory as well. Situational crisis communication theory involves 13 crisis types. Of these types, the Virginia Tech shooting is most like an issue of workplace violence. The theory provides 10 strategies to use in responding to a crisis. The strategies are grouped into 3 postures. The 3 postures are deny, diminish, and deal. The Virginia Tech shooting follows the deal posture by showing a high level of concern for victims. The Virginia Tech shootings not only involved the shooter breaking civil laws, but many ethical ones as well. Psychological egoism suggests that people are basically selfish. Kantism would have us treat ourselves and others well, as all members of humanity are morally equal. People have intrinsic value and should not be used. The shooter certainly was not concerned with anyone's well-being but his own. How we live our lives, as well as our character and faith, play a large part in how we approach and deal with stressful situations. It is my belief that the stronger one's faith is, the better equipped they are to handle a crisis of any kind. While I find his actions deplorable, I pity the shooter. It is not my place to judge him, much like it was not his place to judge and execute his victims. If my view was met with dissent, I would offer this passage: Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Just as Virginia Tech looked to crisis management precedents set by Columbine High School, public relations professionals can now look at the Virginia Tech shooting as a reference for handling future crises. Colleges and other institutions can clearly see the importance of consistency regarding the treatment and tracking of the mentally ill to help prevent any future calamity they may cause. Due to the severity of the Virginia Tech shootings, many schools have responded by improving their security and crisis plans. The Virginia Tech shooting continues to provide us with insights for handling the next campus crisis more efficiently and effectively.